Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Testing, all right. You can cut out that other shit.
Hey, yo, aim. Yeah. Run it up, Blondo.
Hey, bitch, I'm from Texas, where we should ride swangers and put diamonds.
What's going on YouTube? For a little bit of context, we're going to be the number 73 car in this race. This is going to be a little bit of a different style. It's going to be interview style. Let me know how it works out for you guys. There'll be some updates about BeamNG in there as well. They got some people are calling it hacked. Some people are just saying that it was overloaded or whatnot. But I don't know. Right now, that's having issues. So we are full leaning into iRacing. Let me know what kind of content you want to see. Let me know what you want me to do with it, or if anything at all. Thanks for watching.
Iracing, you started it a little bit ago doing just general racing, but now we've gotten into kind of a league situation. Tell me what kind of brought that on, of like why you wanted to get into league racing instead of just the regular racings that you can join at any point in time.
Yeah, I started iRacing leagues, or I started iRacing in general like about a month ago now. And I got into leagues because it keeps the same competitors around. So if you get bullied by someone or whatnot, you can seek revenge. I'm just kidding. Really, it's just that constant community is what I was looking for. In official racing, it's cool and all to get your feet wet, but I think where iRacing really shines is the league racing. I'm having a ton of fun with it. Also, finding out that they're live broadcasted, so everyone can make fun of your driving later in life, is always a great thing.
Where can you watch the live broadcasting? Is that where anybody can watch? Do you have to join a certain group or certain Discord channel? Where can you actually watch the live streams? Because I think it would be very fun to sit there and make fun of other drivers.
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube. It's Extreme Sim TV is what our races are broadcasted on. We race Monday nights around 7 o'clock Central. Um, I think it's like 8 o'clock Eastern time, and it's live from qualifying to the end of the race, which you'll see throughout this video. We did not finish our race Monday night.
You didn't finish the race Monday night. Why didn't you finish the race? What happened? Like what went on to where you weren't? Were you banned or kicked out or
No, mistakes were made, grave mistakes. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention, and there was a wreck in turn two that took out, I believe, half the field. And that was what the little intro clip was. Is I was coming out of pit row. They have an AI spotter in there, and he's a little delayed or too early, or really, it's hit or miss. It's never really consistent enough for uh, everything. It's good in some situations, but most of the time it's not. And this is one of them times where it was not all right.
yeah, definitely looks like that's what happened, is where you just had no insight of what you were driving into, and then just got completely annihilated in the carnage there. So it has an automated spotter system through iRacing, but I think we've seen that you can actually have spotters in regular racing as well. Do you think it would be beneficial to be able to have that in the league too? Like to have a spotter available in the league to help guide you or at least warn you when there's carnage on the field?
Side note, she just wants to be involved. We have not asked that question yet. We have not asked that question yet. We're still brand new in all of this, so just trying to get my footing on all of this stuff. Some guys take it real serious. Others do not, as you could tell from the turnout from this last race. I would love an actual spotter. I think it would help quite a bit. but also you'll run into connection issues and different things like that because you got to remember this is all online. Um, but I think having an actual spotter would be beneficial. I have seen it be beneficial before when we did it a couple of times in official racing.
The money aspect to it, right? For official racing, not only does the driver, but the spotter has to buy the course or the track and the cars. So that would come into play with league racing as well, you know? And if you're already spending the money on the driver buying the track and the cars, you're doubling that. So it can get very costly. What do you think are some ways that you would like to see in iRacing in general to make it more accessible?
I don't think there's anything that we can say or do that's going to change that. If you look up iRacing at all, it's expensive. Um, every part of it is. A lot of people sit there and say that it's just the cost of racing in general. Because if you go to a track in real life, it costs money to enter. It costs money to go down there. So that's how a lot of the guys justify it. And also that this is not a game; it is a hobby. It is something. It's somebody's alternative for whatever their situation is. And so I don't think there's anything we could do about the money part. Um, it thrives already, but it also keeps the competition clean and serious, which I like because you can get into Forza or Assetto Corsa, which are two other kind of sim arcades. I mean, Assetto Corsa is much closer to a sim racer than it is to an arcade, but it's a one-time fee. You pay for the game and then you can race, but I don't think people take it as serious. I don't see a whole lot of league racing going on um, so far. I don't want to bash on anything I'm not fluent in, but I do want to say that I think it's not as bad. It is expensive, but it is not as bad as you think as it can be. Buying a real car and taking everybody everywhere.
No. Okay, so let's jump into the actual racing portion. Um, we had two crashes that we saw in your race the other night. You know, the first crash was kind of wild. You know, you were just being like rammed into the wall. And then the second one, we already kind of addressed a little bit that it would have been helpful if that spotter would have been more on time. You had a spotter in the game with you. What goes through your head when those crashes are happening, or what's happening right before that? And is there a way to prevent it?
Yeah, do better. It was a skill issue. Ran out of talent. The first, the first wreck. It was actually called out later in the Discord that it was just a racing accident. Both of us pushed real close together. And that caused me to get hooked into the wall, and there was really nothing you could do in that situation. Ride the brakes. Didn't want to roll back down into oncoming traffic. Rather take out two cars than 15. Uh, so that one was unfortunate. We were fighting for eighth place, I believe, on lead lap whenever that happened. But we were able to get a couple of cautions throughout the race that brought us back. I think we went down two laps and then we came back around onto lead lap. And then one thing that I have not gotten a grasp on, I'm not an oval racer. As it is apparent, I like drag racing. That is the motorsport that I grew up in and did for a while. So I have a problem adjusting to when to pit, when to like race strategy in general. So it's a learning process. Halfway through the race, we ran out of gas. So that's what set us up for the second incident. So we were running out of gas. We were fighting on lead lap for I think it was like 20th, maybe 15th, somewhere in there. We were back in it, so then we had to stop and pit. And once we got filled up with gas, left the pits and immediately wrecked out.
The crashes, you know, we saw quite a few. We saw a lot of those in the first race because it was such a small track. But now in this one, it was a wide track. We had some long straightaways, lots of room to maneuver around. but we still saw probably around the same number of crashes. I'm thinking a lot of it came with people going three deep on any of the turns or especially the straightaways, and it caused a lot of crashes. What do you think would have helped to align that? And I want to call out that was a hell of a comeback after the first one.
No, yeah, that goes back to our AI spotter. I think that was the biggest complaint we seen in the post race Discord. Um, the AI spotter tells you you got space when you don't, and also pack racing. I think because this is a beginner league, um, we are all not used to it. And it changes the effect of the car because remember this is a sim racer. A lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, it's just a game." It is not. The draft works well. Tire wear is a thing in here, and it's definitely different if you've never done it before because you may come out and race by yourself and you can set lap records and you can do really good, and then as soon as you put 30 other cars around you, it changes the race entirely. The track temperature also changes. So there's a lot of factors that you do not think about when you're new. And I think that's our biggest issue. And I'm grouping myself in with the rookies, of course, because I just started. But I think the biggest issue I see, especially in official, and I try to get away from it as soon as possible because everyone thinks they can win on turn one. Everyone thinks that the championship points are as soon as that green flag goes, you go out there and as long as you're in first, you won, which is a bad mentality. There was 85 laps in our race Monday night, so you can tell who by who survived all of it, who was actually there to win. You can't. It's just changing that mentality of winning the first on the first turn, and we just need more practice together, which I think they're working on. There will be more practice sessions going on. We have different leagues coming up, and we're actually looking at trying to start our own, maybe away from the oval a little bit, a little more, uh, how do you say, like GT style. But I think that's the biggest issue is pack racing and the AI spotter.
No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot of people watching would be wondering, why wouldn't you just race more? Everybody's in the league together, there's a whole chat, but I know the money aspect goes into it as well. Looking at creating your own league as well, um, it costs to put on those practices. And so there's different levels into all of it. And we've talked about it before in NASCAR. When they go in, they're not practicing that track beforehand. They're not always practicing at their home track or at the track they're actually racing in. So I think it's a little bit of just keeping that in mind. No matter how comfortable you are on the track, those things are going to happen. But it's being mindful of your other drivers and keeping in mind that you can't win on the first lap. Um, so how did it feel like coming back from that first crash? What was going through your head of like, how do I get extra yardage? How do I get ahead of these other competitors to get back on the the race lap?
Yeah, a lot of the things I think about is just be consistent because in practice and in qualifying, you get like an idea, you get into the rhythm. So it's kind of like a default, maybe where you're not pushing as hard, maybe thinking about tire saving strategies, different things like that. Whenever I got into that little bit of a predicament, my thing was just stay steady and stay on pace. I didn't want to say aggressive because I feel like then you get into tempers and then you cause accidents when you're not on the lead lap. And it paid off, patience and consistency got me back on the lead lap. And then unfortunately, just not knowing what I'm doing, a solid skill issue, running out of gas, and then crashing into already wrecked cars, shined brightly.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, thanks for explaining, what happened, was going through your head during those crashes. Again, even though you didn't finish, I still think it was a great race and definitely a learning opportunity to keep in mind, don't run out of gas, kind of the basics.
Yeah.
um, but I think it was a great race, and I look forward to recording a little bit more. Definitely getting into some of the finer tuned details. I think a lot of people watching may not know exactly what you're meaning by the draft or race technique, saving your tires. So I think that'd be something we can explore in the next video.
Yeah, and something that we didn't cover, Mo Money is our crew chief, and let us know if you like this little post race interview style. I know it's going to be the first one. Let us know down in the comments what you think you want to see about the iRacing. It takes a lot to be locked in and race and everything, but we're open to put out content or whatever. Really, this is all just a side project. We're not trying to take it too serious, the YouTube part. So just come hang out and whatnot. Thank you, Mo, for helping me out today. It makes it a little more comfortable.
Yeah, thanks for having me. As he said, let us know in the comments if you like this style. And he won't do it, but I will shamelessly plug. Make sure you like and subscribe and tune in for our next video.